Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us on Social and Community News. I am Mojisola Sholaja. On our menu, we bring you the story of one Olanipekun Adenike Temitope, whose experience in the hands of child traffickers reflects the general narratives about this menace the world over. We also have a special one on Nigeria's essential food crops, yam, its business and its importance. Personality of the week, as usual, will bring us to the end of the program. You stay with us. I'll be right back. Every year, tens of thousands of women and children are trafficked in West and Central Africa across Europe. Many children are also trafficked within the country and forced into a life of exploitation and abuse. Nigeria is no exemption, and Olanipekun Adenike Temitope's story is not different. Bumi Adigun takes a look at child trafficking and the need to stand against it.
Human trafficking, a form of modern-day slavery, involves illegal trade of people to either forced labor, sexual exploitation, and in some cases, removal of organs or tissues, including surrogacy.
Criminals and terrorists are capitalizing on and perpetuating the disorder and mayhem of conflict. To fund their crimes, they prey on the vulnerable. Their brutality knows no bounds. Sexual exploitation, forced labor, the removal of bodily organs, and slavery are the tools of their trade.
According to Global Slavery Index of 2018, there are over 40 million victims of modern-day slavery worldwide, with 70% women and girls, 25% children, and 4% men. Nigeria remains a source, transit, and destination when it comes to human trafficking, and it is listed as one of the countries with the largest number of trafficking victims overseas, particularly in Europe. Recently, the federal government distributed food and non-food items to some set of groups in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. A group called Returnees is part of them.
Okay. Returnees from Biafra. Yes. These people that you are seeing today, they are our returnees. They are indigenous. They are Nigerians. So they are coming back to the country, and we are trying to give them the IDPS commissions.
Olanipekun Adenike Temitope is a victim of child trafficking. She was lured into it by her mother's friend.
It was to my mom's friend. So when I reached there, she now resold me to a Ghanaian. After I paid the money finished, I was resold again to a Ghanaian. The first Ghanaian was to work as a slave. The second one was to work in a bottle house. There is no freedom, slavery. There is slavery. I was trafficked.
Adenike speaks Arab, and she only stayed for 3 years in Libya.
I know Jomof in Nigeria, but Italian, I know Jif in Nigeria, Shufi Kula Sadiq, I know Owafi Sadiq Fi, Saudi Arabia, Mali, Lebanon. Like in our Kula Jomo Jif in Nigeria, to Wanibi, Shogun, Owanibi Diri. Like in I know Matibish Kula Jom.
How did she escape the trap?
Unfortunately, I was on my way to the Nigerian embassy. I already went there that I'm going back to home. I went to the embassy voluntarily. So when my TC is ready, they now called me that my TC is ready. So on my way, that's when the police now caught me on the way. So they have to rape me inside a car. After that, they took me to prison. So from prison, I have to seek for freedom and discharge So I have to call one of my brother. They paid the money. They collected the money from there and took me back to prison. So it was when I was crying because I'm using a Ghanaian passport. I deny my country because the person they sold me to is a Ghanaian. So I have to change my name and I have to be using a Ghanaian passport. So it was because those ones say I'm a Ghanaian. That's when the police said it has a Ghanaian that took me there. That since we are brother, they will be able to.
Many of these young girls who are caught in the web of trafficking always end up nursing unwanted pregnancies, some with diseases, while others die with their dreams.
It was so sad. Some came back with unwanted pregnancies, some came back with a disease. Your dream, you can't be able to achieve it. Because I went there on a purpose, and when I came back, I could not be able to achieve my goal. Because I was in National Open University in Abeokuta. I came there. I went to Libya because I want to complete my study, that if I could be able to work, then now, after I come back, even the school, I cannot be able to go complete with education. So everything went wasted. But it's not that wasted, but experience is the best teacher.
The means of transportation, how these girls are moved, sometimes in deserts where there's no water, there's no food, and some of them who cannot go through and in the course of it die, they are left, I mean, I can't even say buried, but abandoned. I mean, the bodies are abandoned on the way. And you know, the ones who survive it, seeing such things happening around them is already a psychological issue. And for those who make it, I mean, the idea of someone being sold, because trafficking today is more of slavery, modern slavery. People are being sold and sold into prostitution. And you know, for trafficking, the end of it is exploitation. So the one whose body is being used, the one whose life is in danger, is not making any gain from it, but it's somebody else that is getting whatever proceeds is coming there. So the whole of these thoughts about somebody being sold, being moved from one person to another, and the kind of things they go through. There are some of these girls who sleep with as many as 20, 50 men in a day, and it's not of their own volition. You know, it's not like they are giving their body, they are being forced to do it.
A police public relations officer speaks on the danger this has caused the country and how lives have been lost in the process.
Many of them walk into slavery. Some, their parents walk them into slavery. We should jettison this idea of I want to travel out, I want to travel out, if you want to travel out, do it in a legitimate way. Go to the embassy, present your paper, present yourself to the embassy. If they grant you a visa, you travel and you go there. And before you travel, you should have known what do you want to go and do there. Not that somebody will just come and tell you that he has a madam who is living abroad and he is recruiting people to come and work. Which work? Majority of them they will work themselves into slavery because of all this sweet talk from all these woman traffickers, who will come to them and tell them all beautiful stories that we have social things, we have this, and they will cajole their parents. Their parents will even they will voluntarily hand over their children, especially the female ones, and when they go there, they will turn them to prostitutes. I
have seen a returnee some few years back who was giving her experience and said something like, when they have their monthly flow, they must still work. And so you have a young girl, a prostitute, in order for the madam to get money, who traffic them, they call them madams. In order for her to get her money, they use diaper, a full baby diaper, to block off the blood so the girl can work. As a woman, when I imagine that, I mean, it's horrible that girls have to go through this. But you see, many times in trafficking, people, some of them are not aware of the ordeal.
Everybody has a right to be free, together with constant enlightenment, increased awareness on this crime against humanity. Living in this world could be easy. Bumi Adigun, OGTV Social and Community News.
Pathetic story of Olanipekun Adenike Temitope, but thank God she's back in the country. Moving ahead, in Nigeria, especially in many yam producing areas, it is said that yam is food and food is yam. However, the production of yam in Nigeria is substantially low and cannot meet the growing demands at its present level of use, despite the fact that Nigeria is one of the largest producers of this agricultural crop. What could be the major challenges affecting the production chain as well as yam business in Nigeria? Let's join Yusuf Gani for more insight about yam business in Nigeria.
Nigeria is by far the world's largest producer of yam, accounting for over 70 to 76% of global production. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization report, in 1985, Nigeria produced 18.3 million tons of yam from 1.5 million hectares, representing 73.8% of total yam production in Africa. In 2008, the yam production figure in Nigeria nearly doubled the country's producing 35.017 million metric tons. Yam is in the class of roots and tubers that is a staple of the Nigerian and West African diet, which provides some 200 calories of energy per capita daily. Yam is one of the agricultural crops used for various food items, not only in Nigeria, but across Europe. Experts say there is need for alternative plants of yam, as well as need for government to provide enabling environment for its exportation.
Produce that, of course, would have been a very great source of revenue for the government. Our farmers, we are not yet there in terms of industrialization of farming, yam farming. So what we have is most of the yam that we produce them for local consumption. And in terms of quality, it is on record that the quality of the yam that we produce is still one of the best in the world in terms of the fiber content, in terms of the nutrient content that we have in it. However, we are also having the challenge of storage. You see, you produce yam and you want to export them for financial gain, but where do you store? You understand? And these are some of the challenges that we have. So when you produce the yam and then you want to take it abroad, and then between the period of harvest, transportation, and final exportation to wherever destination that you are taking them to, what happened to them?
So before my exportation to the yam businesses, I think I saw it cartoned and then shipped outside the country. This is the area where we have comparative advantage and we have core competency. Why not exploring that avenue? We should do more and then produce more and then export. We just have to meet with the requirement of the importer at the other end there. So they give us specification and then we are able to meet that specification and then we're able to grow it. Then it will even add value to our naira, because if we hand more foreign exchange, we have hand more forex, then we have a sufficient naira to do our sufficient dollar to do our import.
It is also stressed that diversifying the economy can only be achieved if the agriculture sector gets its rightful concentration, especially for job opportunity, food security, and economic boom.
I think the government is doing this, encouraging our youth to go to farm, but as I have said it before, if we want to encourage our youth to go to farm, not this subsistence farming, not this smallholder farming, we want to encourage them to go into mechanized farming. They must have access to market, just like you have mentioned. Means of taking from them. Is government going to create an SPV, special purpose vehicle for that can take from them, then export? If you want the same person to be in the farm and then go to the export, by telling him that he will hand more money if he's doing that, the wherewithal to do that in Nigeria is not there.
Is the quality, the quality of storage. That is, if you harvest them, you need to preserve them. And when you preserve them, before you need to make the presentation. Now, in that area, I think our human capacity still need to be improved. Our farmers need to be more educated. They need to open up so that they can understand the basic requirement that is needed for them to get their product to the other country. What is the need? When you produce yam in your country and then you want to take it up there for certain basic requirements that are not met, your yam is rejected. That becomes a wasted investment as a nation.
Some Nigerians who are in yam business say the demand for the crop is on the increase, but its production is low.
Because it's not easy for someone to bring it from north to here. It's a very big challenge. And even from where they want to buy it now. So eat yam now. Only one that we want to buy is 500 naira. So it's a very big challenge because to plant it and for it to come out, so it's a very big challenge.
All this point to the fact it is important for government to look inwards for the potentials and the value chain embedded in yam production so as to grow and develop the agriculture sector as well as improve the socio-economic development of the country. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV Social.
Thank you, Yusuf. Now to our personality of the week. She needs no introduction, but her latest feat has again brought her to global glare. She is the new Director General, World Trade Organization. Yes, you know a lot about her, but this short insight into her life will give you more. Here is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
A household name that echoes economic intelligence, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a world-renowned economist and international development expert. Okonjo-Iweala was born in Delta State to a royal family. She was educated at Queen's School, Enugu, St. Anne's School, Molete, Ibadan, and International School, Ibadan. She arrived in the United States in 1973 as a teenager to study economics at Harvard University and graduated in 1976. In 1981, she earned her PhD in Regional Economics and Development from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. She is married to Dr. Ekemba Iweala, a neurosurgeon, and are blessed with 4 children. Previously, Okonjo-Iweala spent a 25-year career at the World Bank as a development economist, scaling the ranks to the number 2 position of Managing Director, Operations from 2007 to 2011. She also served 2 terms as Finance Minister of Nigeria, 2003 to 2006, 2011 to 2015, under the leadership of former President